Hello, in this video I'm just going to explain to you how to calculate mean, standard deviation and percentile using Google Sheet for a given data. Now before we go ahead, I hope you know the name of each individual cell that you are using, because in Google Sheet each individual space or cell provided has its individual unique name. So this first cell here is called A1, the next cell next to it is B1, the cell next to it is C1, and so forth. Within column A, the first column is A1, the next cell underneath it is A2, and the one underneath it is A3, and so forth. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to list my class's exam results, and because I'm a maths teacher, I'm going to type in maths exam results. Okay, all right, so I'm going to go enter, and in goes my heading. The next cell provided, okay, I'm going to enter my results. So the first number is 34. It appears on the left-hand side of your cell when you first enter your data, but as you enter it, the number then moves or shifts towards the right-hand side of the cell, which is quite normal. So the next result is, say, 45, 50, 55, 65, 76, 78, 90, 92, and 95 is my highest student. Okay, the next cell in A12, I'm going to type in my heading, which is mean, because I'm going to calculate my mean. Now, next to this, I'm not going to enter anything else other than just my heading. I cannot input my calculation in the same space as my heading, because my calculation will not work properly. So what I'm going to do is, instead of putting in my calculation in the same cell, I'm going to move my cursor towards the right-hand side of the heading mean and type in equal. Now, by typing equal, the program actually recognizes that you are about to enter a function, or you're about to perform a calculation within this given space. Now, because I'm going to calculate my mean, I cannot input the word mean into this space, because the computer does not recognize mean as a function. Now, instead of typing mean, I'm going to use the word average, because the computer recognizes average as a function. So I'm just going to type in AV. I'm not even going to type the whole word in, because as you can see, a new tab appears and the word average comes up. And as you can see, a fine detail of the word average comes up underneath this word itself. So before you go ahead and select a particular function, you want to know the meaning behind that function by just reading that fine detail before you go ahead and click on that function. So I'm going to click on average, and instead of typing my numbers inside of the bracket, I'm going to select A2, because A2 down to A11 has all the listed numbers that I need. Now, to end this calculation, I'm going to put in my close bracket and then enter. And what it does is that this then gives my calculation. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and calculate my standard deviation. Standard deviation. So in goes my heading, and to the right-hand side of standard deviation, I'm going to perform my calculation by first entering my equal symbol. And then I'm just going to type in ST, okay, and here are all my functions, the list of all of my function. And because we know that there are two types of standard deviation, the first one is population, the second one is sample. Now, don't go ahead and select this one, because it says this particular function calculates the standard deviation of sample, and that's not what we want. We want the population. So go ahead and select the STDEVP, because it refers to the population standard deviation. So I'm going to click on that and enter all of my numbers by clicking and dragging from A2 down to A11 and close bracket to finalize my calculation. Within the next cell, I'm going to calculate my percentile. In goes my heading for percentile, and within the next cell, I'm going to type in equal and just PE, and I'm going to select percentile, open bracket, So click on A2, drag it down to A11 to list all of my numbers. Okay, now before we end our calculation, we haven't actually included which percentage we would like to have the percentile calculated for. So to enter the percentage that you would like to input within this calculation, you need to first of all differentiate your numbers with your percentage by adding an equal symbol next to your numbers, and then you get to type in your percentage. Now, your percentage cannot be typed in as a percent. It has to be converted into a decimal number. So, for example, if I have 75%, I cannot type in 75 and then percent, but I need to convert this into a percentage which equals 0.75, and then close bracket to finalize my calculation, then enter. So this is my 75th percentile. Now, if I've made a mistake with my calculation and I want to go back and change it, so what you do is that you click on the cell that you would like to edit. So in this case, it's cell B14. And instead of deleting it or typing whatever you want to fix, you go up here into your function bar, and this is where you actually edit your calculations, okay? So don't go down to B14 and start deleting things from there, because it's just going to delete your whole calculations altogether. So once you click up here, your cursor appears on the screen, and what you want to do is delete the numbers that you would like to fix. Now, instead of calculating my 75th percentile, I'd like to change this to my 85th percentile, so just go ahead and type in 85, then enter, and straight away this will just change your calculation. So again, with my percentile, because I want to change the heading, I won't go ahead and delete this, because it'll just delete the whole word. So instead of editing cell A14, I'm going to edit this heading up here in the function bar, and I'm just going to add 85%. Okay, enter. And that's what you do when you are editing your cells. And that's today's video, the end of today's video. So thank you for watching.